Hi kids, how are you? I want to share a picture that I got in the mail recently, and I'll hold it up and see if you can see it. Okay, you can see it, but it's a baby picture. And you know who it is? It's little Emmy, and she is the baby sister of Addie and Ryan. You remember Addie and Ryan? And here's a picture on the back with them holding their baby sister. Okay? Well, we will be excited when we can finally be able to be back in church, and then we can celebrate the baptism for little Emmy. Okay? Well, this week I was talking to the adults about a special promise that God made to Abraham and Sarah called a covenant promise. Well, it's just to say that we also, you and me, we have a covenant promise with God, a special promise that has a sign that goes with it. And as I was explaining to the adults, one of the covenant promises in the Old Testament is from the story of Noah and the ark. And you probably remember that already, that when God promised that he would never again destroy every living creature with a flood, God gave a special sign for that promise. Do you remember what that was? The sign, the promise of that covenant promise? It's the rainbow. And so every time we see the rainbow, we can be reminded of that special promise that God made. Okay? Well, we have a sign in baptism too, that God has made a special promise with us. That in the power of baptism, we have been made children of God, and that God promises that we will always be recognized by God. Be recognized as a special child that belongs to God. Okay? And we have a sign that reminds us of that. It's water. And so when we have a baptism at church, we're reminded that that water is that special sign of the promise that God makes to us. Okay? Well, in some churches that you go into, one of the things that you do as you come into the church is that you dip your finger into a little bit of water, and then you make the sign of the cross, okay? And that water reminds us, is to remind the person of this special promise God has made in baptism, okay? So you can even do that at home sometime. If you're by the sink, you could just take your fingers under a little bit of water, and then you can make the sign of the cross, touch your forehead and down to your heart, and then to your shoulder, and then to the other side. And that's the sign. That water is a sign of that special promise God has made to you, a promise which God will always keep. All right? See you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.